It is now time for the main event, and I just realized now that I randomly chose pink for our banners, and we're talking about the women in the main event.
I did. I saw that. Didn't want to just let it rock.
Did not coordinate that at all whatsoever,
Just
but we're gonna go with it. Women in the WrestleMania main event. There was an interview that took place recently. I'll read the exact transcript once I pull it up here. There was a conversation that took place on the Bellas podcast. They had Tiffany Stratton on, and it reads a little like this. Stratton said, I fully believe one day we're going to have another women's main event at WrestleMania. So, us women, we all need to come together. We need to make that happen. Bree says, for sure. Well, all the women have been killing it lately, so if it's not happening this Mania, I'll be shocked. And I hope, too, that there's just as many. Nikki says, and a lot more female matches. I feel like there should be 3 a night. Bree said, if not 4. Nikki said, especially with added time from ESPN. And Bree said, so we need to see a lot of women on WrestleMania, for sure. Now, very quick excerpt, but at the same time, it got the people talking. For 2 reasons. One, there seems to be this thought process that the women's division isn't really doing a whole lot. And we've said here on the show a couple times, that some bitch is cooking. That some bitch is cooking. But there are legitimately people who are watching these matches and watching these storylines and watching these characters and going, I don't get it. And I think that's, if anything, that's probably one of the biggest reasons that we haven't had a women's main event in a long time for WrestleMania. And the second thing, as far as the conversation that was stoked by these comments, is why hasn't it happened in so many years? So I put together a little chart and I sent it to you. And I'm not going to pull it up here because it moves our fucking screens around and I don't feel like it. It's not going to be on here for long. But the very first women's main event was WrestleMania 35. Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. I was in the house. It was fun times. So I wanted to take a look at every WrestleMania since 35 to see that if there was going to be a women's main event at WrestleMania, why hasn't it happened by now? Now, I didn't include 37 on this list because 37 had a women's main event. Night 1, Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. I attended night 2. I did not get to see the women in action, but Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks were the main event of night 1 at 37. So 37 is not on this list, but I got 36, 38, 39, 40, 41, and 42. So for everybody who was saying, well, why haven't we had a women's main event at WrestleMania since Becky's main event? Let's take a trip down memory lane to figure out, did they get it wrong or did they get it right by not choosing the women's main event on those particular shows? So I take it at 36 to start it off. That's the pandemic WrestleMania at the Performance Center. Mm-hmm. Or as sports fans have been calling that era, this is the bubble WrestleMania. Just like the NBA had the bubble championship, they were in the bubble. We're in the bubble. They were in the bubble for WrestleMania. So the main events of 36 was The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the Boneyard match, and Drew McIntyre defeating Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. The 2 women's title matches on that show, Becky Lynch and Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's title, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley for the NXT title.
That one could have been possible. Not at that time, maybe.
Not at that time.
Not at that time.
That was NXT. Yeah. Those names now have value.
But not at that time, right?
Not at that time. No. Rhea, of the 2 matches, because I remember walking away from 36. If you go back to the earlier episodes of this show and you hear my review of WrestleMania 36, I said on that show, the best match on the 2 nights was Charlotte and Rhea Ripley. I thought it was the best match of the whole WrestleMania. But no chance going into this did you think this was going to be the main event. Again, it's Taker and Styles, and it's an upcoming and emerging Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. No. 37 had a main event, so we go to 38. The women's matches for 38 was Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, the match that made you sick to your goddamn stomach. For the Raw women's title, Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown title. Our main events for that WrestleMania was Stone Cold Steve Austin returning to the ring after 19 years against Kevin Owens.
Jeez.
And then Roman Reigns against Brock Lesnar, title for title.
I love Bianca, but that wasn't gonna happen.
Nope. No fucking way.
There wasn't a woman on earth that could have made a.
At that time, that was tough.
Those main events, no.
Now,
unfortunately, no.
We go to 39. We have Rhea Ripley and Charlotte again for the SmackDown title. Now, this is a completely different Rhea Ripley. Completely different. Then we had Kevin Owens. It's Rhea Ripley and Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. Then it's Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title. Not for nothing, for that time period, two very strong women's title matches. But now we go to the main event. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for the tag titles. And then Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Now, Roman and Cody, I understand.
I could argue the Rhea and Charlotte to take the Sami Zayn Usos. But that storyline was already
there you go.
Hot, dude.
If it was when
on paper to me, that looks nasty. That main event.
When we did the round table before that pay-per-view, if you go back and you watch it, I said on the show, I would rather do Rhea and Charlotte over the tag match for the main event. I said that before. But I also said that's for the match quality. If you're asking me as a booker who goes on last, it's got to be the tag match because the tag match had such a phenomenal build. That tag match, the Bloodline against Kevin and Sammy, was so fucking amazing. I understood it. I said, me personally, I would have done Charlotte and Rhea, but I get why they put the tag match on last. After WrestleMania.
In hindsight as well, though, no one knew that not only were they driving something here and it was absolutely red hot, but we didn't know we were about to go on a fucking ride that this pretty much like kicked that off.
This kicked it
Not
off.
kicked it off. Exactly. We're in it now. Starting here. We didn't know it, but in hindsight, yeah.
Both main events, both of those main events took us to that next main event in 40. And we didn't know it at the time. So business-wise, it made sense to put the tag match on. But I think if there was going to be an argument for a women's main event up until this point, Charlotte and Rhea had a very good argument. A very good one. It was just they got hot at the wrong time because that tag match was going on last. I take you to 40. We shouldn't even have to fucking discuss this. We shouldn't even
have to talk about it.
But Rhea Ripley
the resurgence of wrestling, as I like to fucking call it.
Rhea Ripley and Becky Lynch for the women's world title, which, by the way, the main events were so hot, they put this match on first. Bayley and Io Sky was the WWE Women's Championship match on night 2. The main events for 40, The Rock and Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. And then on night 2, Rhodes and Reigns for the ending of the story. I'm sorry. No, not debatable. Those were the main events of that fucking pay-per-view. That takes us to last year. Now hear me out. This is the year where the debate before the pay-per-view happened was very strong, right? So the women's title matches is Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte for the WWE Women's title, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley for the World Women's Championship. I had said if Io Sky was not in that match, and if it was just Rhea and Bianca, that probably would have been one of the main events of that WrestleMania. We had CM Punk, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns for night one's main event, and John Cena and Cody Rhodes for night two. Now, Cena's on the farewell tour. That was going to be the main event of WrestleMania. So the debate comes to the triple threat match. Let me tell you something. We sat here, you and I sat here, and talked about both triple threats. The guys told a better story, but the girls had the better triple threat match. They had the better match. I don't know if that's enough to put them in the main event, but that's another one that I feel like there's a real conversation.
That's name. Unfortunate. I agree with you. Names alone ain't gonna happen.
It was too high profile.
Just fuck a story, fuck a match. The names on paper wasn't gonna happen. It just wasn't. You would, and this is the problem, right? I agree with what you're saying. They would the level of momentum either of these women matches would have to have had going into this to take that last spot is monumental. I don't even think some of the female main events that we had would have been able to take over the main spot from these. It's just not going to happen. Unfortunately, these names are too big.
It's especially unfortunate when you also factor in that just a few months before this Mania took place, the Evolution pay-per-view with the main event of Rhea Ripley and Io Sky, arguably one of the best main events of the whole year, not being rematched at WrestleMania, turning it into a triple threat match instead, I felt like complicated things. Because you could have done Rhea and Io, you could have done Rhea and Bianca, and it would have, in my opinion, it would have been right here. To have all three, yeah, they had the better match, but it convolutes the story. And the guys had the better story. And that's why they were in the goddamn main event. Which takes us to this year's Stephanie Vaquer, Liv Morgan, World Women's Championship match, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, WWE Women's Championship match. So far, what is projected to be the main events would be Punk Roman for the world title and Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton for the WWE title. There is some chatter right now about Lesnar Obafemi being one of the main events. But let's just play devil's advocate and keep it the championship matches for now. Punk and Roman, Rhodes and Randy Orton, two very strong fucking stories. And to be honest with you, I feel like the women are split. Stephanie and Liv, I don't feel like is a main event. Rhea and Jade, I don't feel like it's a main event. However,
the problem is you couldn't flip it because Stephanie and Rhea would be really, really good.
That's where I was headed.
Cargill would be really, really bad. We gotta even this card out just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Stephanie and Rhea to me would have been a main event candidate. I still don't know because Rhea to me is the proven commodity here. Of the four, the obvious, whoever the woman is that's going to main event WrestleMania next is going to be Rhea Ripley. It's just a matter of who the opponent is going to be. And to be honest with you,
we have to build someone to stand next to her, basically.
And that's why I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. I've been saying this for a few weeks now. I haven't said it on the show, but I've been saying it in my house. My wife's tired of hearing it. At first it was a joke, but now I'm dead serious. Bianca's finger is causing more health problems as time goes on. It's not only not healing, it's actively getting worse. So at first it was a joke, but now I'm dead serious. Get rid of the fucking finger. It sounds funny on paper, but hear me out. There are people who live very high quality lives with 9 fucking fingers. It just is what it is. And it's causing health issues. It's not just a hand that hurts or is in pain or is stiffening or
did you get more information on it?
Yeah, well, WWE is releasing more information about it. They've been talking to Bianca's doctors and everybody's been talking to them. And the only real update that we've gotten is that exactly what I just said, is that the finger is not only not healing the way that they want it to, it's actively progressively getting worse. And now the latest update I've heard from people, there's a lot of people talking, the scuttlebutt, ear to the ground, that At first, I was joking, but it looks like it's on the table now that they're starting to consider whether or not it's time to get rid of the goddamn finger. Because if it's going to cause more problems than it's worth, we had a dad that lost, feeling and usage of one of his arms, and he didn't want to part ways with it, so he wore a sling for most of the time. But he was playing, Russian roulette. You can clot, you can do all kinds of stuff in that area and not even know it. And a finger is much smaller than an arm, obviously, but it still has a circulatory system. It still has important things in there. If it starts to cause bacteria, it gets in the blood. It can cause all kinds of havoc. If forget wrestling for a second. I'm not telling her to lose the finger so we can get our main event match. No, I'm saying for the quality of life you wish to live. If the finger is not working out so goddamn well, get rid of the fucking finger. Now they're saying that it's the ring finger, so maybe that's why there's hesitation. I don't know. But look at, if you lose your ring finger and you can't wear your ring on your ring finger, guess what? You're still married. It doesn't go anywhere. You don't lose your finger and just go, oh well, I guess we have to see other people. Like, no, you're still locked in, my guy. I hope you guys still have your paperwork. I keep my receipt for my wife on the wall. Yeah, I have my receipt.
Your receipt?
Yeah, I kept the receipt. It says marriage certificate on it. It's in my living room in a frame, so that whenever she acts up, I just point to the paper. Because I'll bring you back to the store, bro. You better calm your tits. I got the goddamn receipt right there. All right. So, I mean, where is it? Where is it? There's a few arguments. There's a few arguments here.
They're but they're not good arguments. Like we just went over it. There isn't one close, in my opinion, that can take what the main event actually was. What's the closest? What Mania here is the closest argument you can make? And I think it's what you were saying about, no, you can't take anyone out. It has to be what the card was.
Right, so that would eliminate my 40 argument, but I'm looking at Ripley. I'm looking at Rhea Ripley and Charlotte at 39. 39, I would not have been mad at all if that match would have been last. I'm just saying. I wouldn't have been pissed.
I understand what you're saying, but
it was on night one too.
Cannot disagree that those main events were on fire.
Yeah,
they were. Set the tone for one of the biggest manias of all fucking time.
It doesn't, what's funny is because the arguments that we have for the main events that happened, like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn against the Usos, and I'll point to John Cena and Cody Rhodes, they were last because of how important they were to the storyline at the time that they happened. But you could, no shade, but those are two of the least talked about WrestleMania main events of all time.
Which one?
The tag team match, right? The storyline was there. No one denies that. The build was perfect. It deserved to be in the main event slot. They worked their asses off, but the match didn't deliver. And it's the same thing with John Cena and Cody Rhodes. John Cena decided to do the heel gimmick right before Mania, and they purposely put on a shit show of a match for the sake of the gimmick. And now that will forever be the last WrestleMania match he ever has. And the match was so bad, they rematched it at SummerSlam just to wipe the taste out of people's mouth. And they had a way better match at SummerSlam. But the WrestleMania match was trash. That match was no good. That's not a rewatchable match at all.
I don't disagree with you. But unfortunately, one of the biggest factors here is name. We could have known this was going to be ass. He's going on last. That's it. I'm sorry. And the same thing with 39. I could argue that tag team match, you see Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Usos. What I see is Roman Reigns' storyline. That's what I see. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. It's all driving something. It's about the names and who brings in the money and what's going on. And to be honest with you, I don't disagree with you on both those, but those names and that time and that storyline, it's going last. I'm sorry. And I'm still a little upset with the Drew situation and him not going to Mania. So that kind of sucks. What we got going on now. I would have much rather it not be Cody Rhodes. But
guess what I found out? He's leaving after Mania, Drew.
Oh, so he's
doing
pissed.
He's doing a movie, Highlander. Apparently this whole time, even before he won the title, he was already scheduled to not be here after WrestleMania. But the only reason they gave him the title in the first place is because the character itself had developed through all this complaining and whining and bitching, but yet never ever winning. They felt after a while it's starting to do more damage than help him. So he had to win the title at some point. So he did, but they had to get it off of him because he's disappearing.
I don't know if I agree with saying that.
I don't know if I agree with it either because it doesn't have shit to do with WrestleMania.
That and the fact that let's let him go, tap him out, and being pissed off, and then when he returns, it's a surprising pop when he comes back. I don't understand why we're killing his return before he fucking leaves.
Yeah,
he'll still get a return, but like, I don't know. Maybe I believe in kayfabe still. I don't know.
It's still real to us, damn it. If he was truly leaving after WrestleMania, we'd lose it at WrestleMania, and then you could still do Randy and Cody immediately after. There's no. It is that's why I think that everyone keeps saying that the heel turn with Randy Orton feels rushed. It just feels like okay, he's heel now.
He can do it whenever the fuck he wants, however the fuck he wants.
I feel like it's too late.
He can go out there tomorrow, make them love him again, and then come back the next day and be a heel again. Randy does whatever the fuck Randy wants to do.
I think it took too long to turn him, to be honest with you, because now it just feels weird. This crowd, they're smart right now because they're doing most of his heel work outside of the ring. I think this past Friday he did something with Matt Cardona, and like that's the first time since the jumping of Cody that he's done anything really in the ring. It's all been promo packages and interviews and whatever the case. So he hasn't had a match basically since he's messed with Cody either. So that's good, but they don't really want to boo him. He's gonna have to really ratchet up. Oh, since we're on the goddamn topic, enough with the 09 Orton bullshit. Enough. That was 17 years ago, dude. Give or take. Yeah, 17 years ago. He was 09 Orton and 17 years ago. He's not that thin. He's not orange anymore. His hair is not cut down like that. He's a heel, but he's not 09 Orton. He'll never be 09 Orton ever again. Okay?
We don't want 09 or
the internet is begging for it.
But wasn't he like an actual menace, like in real life? Like, wasn't he not a good person at that time?
Yeah,
we don't want that. Or
that's where the hearing voices bullshit came from, because he was walking around literally like, and then just that's what somebody was like. Was it? I see a punt kick in Cody Rhodes' future at WrestleMania when he was punting old people in the fucking head over and over and over again. This is one of those genres a lot like when you get really strong fan bases. This is one of those genres where they can't leave yesterday alone. They're like, oh man, it's been a while.
That's unfair. They lean into that shit too. They know what they're doing.
WWE?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
WWE.
They know nostalgia pulls them in. They know it.
They haven't mentioned 2009 yet. That's everybody. I saw reaction videos from people who were watching the show as it happened, and then he hit Cody, and you know how reactors are. They're always over the like always over the top, and you can hear him go, oh, we're bringing back 09 Orton? Is that what we're doing? No, he's just turning heel. We're not bringing back 09 Orton, okay? We can't give him his spine back. We can't give him his knees back. We can't give him, no. This is not 09 Orton. It's 26 Orton, and it's still going to be a banger. Just let him do his thing.
Let him work, man. What do kids say? Let him cook.
Old Grandpa Orton is on top of it. All right? Let Abuelito go. He can do it. All right.